My brothers, do not let your little head dictate what your big head thinks and does, because you will get in so much trouble that your little or your big head will not be able to get you out. Welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. R. Kelly is going to prison. R. Kelly is going to prison. I don't see nothing wrong. I can't even look at that song the same way no more. You ain't see nothing wrong. R. Kelly, boy, listen. Listen to the details. R. Kelly is sick. If any of this is true, he is sick. I'm not going to be the one to cast too much of a judgment because I was not there when it all went down. But based on, there's one thing that's irrefutable, right? And that's DNA evidence. Now, some of these people are extremely devious. Like, R. Kelly got into some issues before and he was rolling in the dough, had a whole lot of money. And what he did was he was able to pay people off throughout that period of time. Take this money, sign a non-disclosure waiver, go away, right? But he continued the same behavior. What some of those people have done, say for instance, there was a little bit of DNA left somewhere around, he busted a nut, it got on somebody's t-shirt, they kept that t-shirt, and now that t-shirt is in court. As you know, the R&B king, R. Kelly, has recently been, there was an order put out for him to turn himself in or he would have been arrested, right? And he was charged with 10 counts. 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. Now, I don't think he's going to get away. You saw what just happened to Bill Cosby? 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse, and the statute of limitation on a lot of what R. Kelly did is still valid. The statute of limitations is still valid. They're going to sink him. Now, let's get into this. He's recently turned himself in to the police, and he was able to secure bond. He was sent out on, his bail was set at $1 million. Now, in order to bond out, he has to come up with $100,000 cash. We're talking about R. Kelly here, right? So $100,000 should not have been that much for him, his deep pockets, unless it was exactly what his lawyer said, which I think is a hoax anyways. I think R. Kelly knows he's going to prison, so he secured his finances, hid his money in other places, and he's going to then do his time in his disgrace and then come home rich and continue to live his life. Anyways, the story goes like this. Pay attention. R. Kelly met underage girl on trial for child porn. So while this brother was on trial for child porn, which by the way, he was exonerated, he beat that trial, but during that trial, he met a 16-year-old girl who attended the trial. And this dude is, off the meat rack. Listen, so while on trial for child pornography, in 2008, R. Kelly still found time to talk to fans, give autographs, and to meet a underage girl he later invited to his home. This is according to prosecutors who, despite the R&B star who depicted the R&B star as somebody that is manipulative and sometimes violent. Black man, violent, not hard to see. That's what the picture is painted, right? Other accusers include a 16-year-old. Other accusers includes a 16-year-old who met R. Kelly at her 16th birthday party. I would say, what the hell would R. Kelly be doing at a 16-year-old girl's birthday party? Is it his daughter? Is it his niece? Did her family have money or paid him to come perform at the birthday party? I don't understand, but grown-ass R. Kelly was at some 16-year-old girl's birthday party, and also a hairdresser who said that she expected to go and braid the singer's hair, only to find that he wanted oral sex from her instead. This is written in court documents. The accounts, listen to this, the accounts emerged Saturday as Kelly made his first court appearance since being accused of sexually abusing 4 people in a case that could produce another #MeToo reckoning for a celebrity. Now, you know, it was under the Me Too movement that they finally got Bill Cosby, and the Me Too movement is pretty strong. Let's see if Weinstein, his name is, let's see if he gets the same treatment and all other rich white guys get the same treatment as well. But anyhow, not to side with anybody or say that any of this was okay. I'm just saying, let the playing field be level and let all who are guilty be treated accordingly, right? Okay, so Kelly turned himself in, and then he had a court hearing. You go before the judge to find out what your charges are and if you're going to be able to bond out or if you're going to have to, if you're going to be able to bond out, sorry, or if you're going to have to sit and wait until you go to trial. This is where all this came out. The judge read all this as he stood before the judge. A judge gave R. Kelly a chance to go free while awaiting trial, setting his bond at $1 million. That means that the 52-year-old Grammy winner must post $100,000 US to be released in cash, or remain behind bars until his trial date on the allegations that date back as far as 1998 and span more than a decade. The prosecution released 4 detailed documents. This is, and believe me, the prosecution always has a hook. They're not going to release their best material right away. But they have enough convincing material here, they're letting you know. They released 4 detailed documents, 1 for each accuser. So there are 4 accusers outlining the basis for the charges. 1, the 16-year-old girl who attended Kelly's trial. What the hell was she doing at his trial? Who took her to the trial? So the 16-year-old girl who attended R. Kelly's trial got his autograph after a court session. So after he was strutting his way out of court, she was, R. Kelly, oh, sign this. And he signed it, got his autograph after he was completed a court session. He later invited her to his home in the Chicago suburbs of Olympia Fields, where they had sex multiple times. So it was an ongoing thing. He had developed a sexual relationship with this 16-year-old girl who attended his court hearing. This is absurd. And while signing his autograph, I'm guessing he signed his phone number and said, give me a call. Keep it a secret. I don't know. Listen to this. In the court documents, it is detailed that he also slapped her, choked her, and spit on her. Now, that's some freaky-deaky sex they were having, or was he trying to, like, hold her against her will and do things to her that she didn't want done? Now, I will say this. The average 16-year-old knows exactly what the hell they're doing. They might be young, and they might be impulsive, and their higher level of thinking has not kicked in as yet, because the brain, the frontal cortex of the brain that controls that in human beings is not fully developed yet. But it is still no excuse. Put it this way. A 16-year-old knows when an adult wants to have sex with them. Okay? Now, I'm saying it like this because I refuse to believe, I was 16 once, and I refuse to believe that you have intelligent 16-year-olds out there that some man would invite her back to his house way out in wherever, and she thinks it's just to go meet and have things autographed. But I'm not blaming the 16-year-old, because at 16 you can be manipulated which is what I think happened here, if these allegations are true. Okay, so listen to this part now. In 1998, another girl reported meeting R. Kelly at a restaurant where she was having her 16th birthday party as well. So what the hell? Was R. Kelly cruising around looking for 16-year-old birthday parties? Or was that on his call card? Like, I do shows, I do clubs, I sell out arenas, and I do 16-year-old birthday parties for females. Like, what the hell? How did he, or was it that he was their favorite artist and their parents had money and said, baby, who do you want to perform at your 16th birthday party? Oh, I want the best singer in the world, Daddy, R. Kelly. And Daddy spent his money and got R. Kelly. Was that the case? I don't know. Listen, so in 1998, another girl reported meeting R. Kelly at a restaurant where she was having a 16th birthday party. R. Kelly's manager gave her the singer's business card and suggested that she call Kelly. See, his managers, his handlers, his people around him, they knew what time it was. They knew exactly what that man was doing, and they were helping him to do it. Because as long as the beast is satisfied, then we could get back to making this money, and we can all be rich. That's what that was about. The girl's mother heard the exchange, heard the man, R. Kelly's manager, giving her daughter the card and saying, you should call him sometime. She took the card and told the manager, hey, my daughter is only 16, man. Right? But the daughter later stole the card back from her mother's purse. She contacted R. Kelly anyways, and he gave her instructions and money, which assumed was for taxi fare to his recording studio, where they had sex periodically over a period of a year, the documents said. R. Kelly's going to prison. In early 2003, a Chicago hairdresser told prosecutors that she thought she was going to braid R. Kelly's hair. She was excited. He likes how I do my braids and stuff. I'm getting a chance to go braid R. Kelly's hair. You got to understand, in 2003, R. Kelly was peak of his fame, right? I'm going to do R. Kelly's hair? But when she got there, he pulled down his pants and instead tried to force her to give him toppy. The woman, who was 24 at the time, was able to pull away, the court document said, but not before R. Kelly bust splash jisms all over her face and spit on her face. The court document says. This sounds like a sadistic, I don't know what, oh man, damn R. Kelly. Kelly's DNA was lit. This is the part that I'm saying he is going to prison. Listen, R. Kelly's DNA was found in semen on one of the accuser's shirts. It is confirmed after lab testing that his DNA was found in semen on one of the accuser's shirts. And semen found on a shirt worn by another was also submitted for DNA testing. That result hadn't come back yet, and I'm willing to bet it's going to come back positive just like the other one. So they have solid evidence now. Unless, I mean, he can't say it's consensual sex if she's 16 and your sperm is on her clothing. So, R. Kelly's DNA was found in semen on one of the... People, y'all got to give me a minute. I have to, like, process this, right? Because I can't figure out how for the life of me that someone successful, wildly successful with fame and money and a bunch of yes people around you would jeopardize all that for sexual pleasures with minors. And you got grown women that are willing to be your slaves. These women were willing, even now, even with all these allegations. I saw a birthday party, I believe it was R. Kelly celebrating his 52nd or 50-something birthday party, and he got on stage and he sang, and the amount of women that were there that were like, oh, oh, waiting to like rip his clothes off in the midst of all this. They don't care. Hey, he's a child rapist, a molester. I don't care. I like how he sings. He can molest me. So I don't understand how somebody with everything would throw it away for... So R. Kelly's DNA was found in semen on one of the accuser's shirts. Lab tested and proven. And semen found on a shirt worn by another was also submitted for testing. That hadn't come back yet, says Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox. It was not clear when the accuser turned the shirt in, the new shirt, over to the authorities, whether it was shortly after the abuse or it was more recently. At the bond hearing, Kelly's attorney, Steve Greenberg, said that his client is not a flight risk. He told the judge, contrary to the song, Mr. Kelly doesn't like to fly. If you don't know, R. Kelly's biggest hit to this day is probably, I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. What an inspirational song. And look at what it has come to. Greenberg said that Kelly really doesn't have any more money. So he's portraying R. Kelly as broke. He suggested that other people had mismanaged his wealth, and R. Kelly is pretty much broke. And still, he said that he expected that R. Kelly would be able to like scrape together enough to get bail. $100,000 cash to get bail on a $1 million bail. The judge called the allegation disturbing. R. Kelly looked at the floor the entire time the judge was talking. After the hearing, his lawyer told reporters that R. Kelly did not force anyone to have sex with him. He's a rock star, he said. Listen. That attorney right there means you know damn good. He's probably found loopholes to get to whatever other money you tell. R. Kelly needs to tell his attorney to tone it down. Good job on pretending he's broke and probably helping him to hide his money, his wealth somewhere else, right? But that part where he said, that is pompous, that is as chauvinistic. After he told, this is what he told the people. He told reporters, he's a rock star. He didn't force anyone to have sex with him. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to have non-consensual sex. I don't want that attorney. Right now, you need to make your client seem as humble as possible. Okay? The judge ordered Kelly to surrender his passport, ending his hopes of doing a tour of Europe, which should have started in April. So the euros and the pounds will not be coming to him. They said that Kelly was being defiant and had already went ahead and scheduled shows, concerts in Germany and the Netherlands, despite the cloud of legal issues looming over him. His lawyer, however, denied it and said nothing was planned. The recording artist, whose legal name is Robert Kelly, has been trailed for decades by allegations that he violated underage girls and women and held some as virtual slaves. He was charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse. 10 counts, and they only read 4 at the hearing. Kelly, who was acquitted of child pornography charges in 2008, has consistently denied any sexual misconduct. He broke into the R&B scene in 1993 with his first solo album, 12 Play, which produced popular songs like Bump and Grind and Your Body's Calling. Man, R. Kelly has one that's called It Seems Like You're Ready. Seems like you're ready. He rose from poverty on Chicago's South Side and has retained a sizable following. He's written numerous hits for people like Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, even Lady Gaga. His collaborations have included Jay-Z and Usher, to name a few. And let me tell you, Lady Gaga is no longer a friend of his or on his side. The jury in 2008 acquitted Kelly of child pornography charges that centered on the graphic video that prosecutors said showed him having sex with a girl that was about 13 years old. He and the young woman both denied that that was them. She said, "That's not me." He said, "That's not me." And they were able to get away with it. I'm sure he paid her mom, dad, a hefty sum and had them sign a non-disclosure waiver, and off into the sunset they went to live a life of money, right? It was a 27-minute video with high-quality picture. Damn. She, the witness, or R. Kelly did not take the stand. Kelly could have gotten 15 years at that point for that, but he beat that charge. Charging R. Kelly now for actions that occurred in the same time frame as the allegations from the 2008 trial suggests that accusers are cooperating this time, and this time they are willing to testify. Because the alleged victims 10 years ago denied that she was on the video and did not testify, the state's attorney office had little recourse except to charge the lesser offense under Illinois' law, child pornography, which required a lower standard of evidence. So they just wanted to get him on something. And because she would not take the stand, they had to go for something else. Each count of the new charges carries up to 7 years in prison. And he has 10 of them. 7 times 10. You guys are intelligent. Do the math. He's looking at a whole lot of time in prison. And he could serve consecutively, making it possible for him to receive up to 70 years. Probation, though, is also an option. The wall began closing in on R. Kelly after the release of the BBC documentary with him last year and the multi-part Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which aired last month and caused a stir. If you haven't seen it, go see it. I saw it and I was squirmish the whole time I was watching it. Surviving R. Kelly. Together they detailed allegations he was holding women against their will and running a sex cult with underage minors. Even stories of him being bisexual. Women spoke of them sitting there and R. Kelly having a male Me Too activists and a social media movement using the hashtag Mute R. Kelly called on streaming services to drop R. Kelly's music and promoters not to book any concerts. Protesters demonstrated outside R. Kelly's Chicago studio, and so far, R. Kelly has been dropped by his record company and is no longer with them. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Tell me, do you think he was guilty, or do you think all this stuff is made up? If so, who do you think? I mean, damn, the DNA evidence, your sperm on an underage girl's clothing. Oh man, damaging. Do you think R. Kelly is going to prison? That's the main one. Do you think he's going to go to prison? I did a video where I said he was not going to go to prison, but after all this has came out, and the fact that those who accused before that were not willing to testify are now willing to testify and are showing up with evidence like a shirt with sperm on it. What do you think? It's SouFLoTV, man. I'm out. Peace. And remember, my brothers, do not let your big head dictate your little head, because your big head and your little head will get you. I'm out. Peace.